Hello again, everyone. Deflex here, Firm but Fair Gaming. It is coming up to patch 11.2, and there is going to be a ton of changes that's going to go on in the next few weeks. PTR changes and different things that are going on because it's being released in about 4 weeks from now, and the season starts in about 5 weeks. So let's jump into the changes right now. Death Knight, Reaper's Mark damage increased by 30%. Blood Exterminate has been updated. First Scythe of Exterminate now has a 100% chance to reap a Bone Storm for 2 seconds. Frost, Bind in Darkness now increases Howling Blast damage on main target when consuming Rhyme by 60 was 30. Yeah, nice little buff on an ability. Riders, Moss Swarm Menace now reduces the cooldown of Death and Decay by 5 seconds, was 10, so a little nerf there. Frost, Morgraine's Might has now been updated. Your damage increased by 5%, and you gain 5% crit strike. Blood, Sand Lane. Strength now has an additional effect when Blood Boil hits 2 or more targets. It generates 1 charge of Bone Shield. Okay, that's pretty neat. Frost, Breath of Cindergrowth has been updated. Call upon Cindergrowth's aid in the battle for 8 seconds, continuously dealing frost damage every 1 second to enemies in a cone in front of you. Consuming Killing Machine or Rhyme increases the duration by 1 second. Deals reduced damage to secondary target. Grants a charge of Empowered Rune at the start and 2 runes at the end. 1.5 minute cooldown. Cost 6 as runes. Interesting. Developers, we've seen a lot of feedback around your recent change to Breath and Empowered spells. While some players liked the new direction, many felt that casting requirement made it difficult to use and broke up the flow of Frost Death Knight rotation. We're moving towards a version that feels more natural to play without losing the impact the ability is known for. Death Grip now has 15-second cooldown outside of PvP. It was 25. That's because of reduced A-Bomb's limb, or got rid of A-Bomb's limb, not even reduced it, removed it. Double Glacier Advance, consuming 2 stacks of Killing Machine with Killing Streak now properly deals double damage and applies 2 stacks of Razor Ice. An issue causing Frostbane Cooler fix an issue. Consuming 2 stacks of Killing Machine with Killing Machine now correctly grants 2 stacks of Bone Grinder, fix an issue. Position of Murderous, bunch of talent swap changes. Spots. Cool. Desecrated has been updated. Death and Decay deals 100% more damage, has its cooldown reduced by 10 seconds, and is replaced by Desecrate after it is cast. Neat. Consume your Death and Decay and crush your enemies within, dealing 100% of the remaining damage instantly. That's neat. Applies or burst 1 to 2 festering wounds depending on whether the target is already affected by festering, guaranteeing you the benefit of standing in Death and Decay. Okay. We felt that there was too much pressure to cast Death and Decay as soon as possible due to it dealing greater damage than Death and Decay would otherwise. We were looking to increase its flexibility while maintaining. Okay. Death and Decay damage has been increased by 100%. Bursting Swords increased by 15. Bursting Swords now damages up to 7 nearby targets. This used to be reduced damage, I believe, after 8. Now it's a hard cap at 8. Defile now has a 30-second cooldown. Death Grip now has a 15-second cooldown. Bursting Festering Wounds now refreshes the duration of Festering Scythe. Override Aura. Scourge Strike. Crit Strike now causes Festering Wounds to burst at 20% increased damage. Awesome. Sudden Doom no longer reduces runic cost of Epidemic. Oh. Interesting. Grave Mastery now increases the critical damage of Gargoyle and Legion Souls. Plague Mastery now increases critical site damage of Festering Runes. And then fix an issue. Interesting. Alright, Druid of the Claw. Shapeshifting into bear form to reduce magic damage taken by 6% was 4, so a little buff when you're in bear form again. Mana Forge, 4 sets. They're tweaking the 4 set. Feral, 4 set, fix an issue. Guardian, Dreadful Wound reduction to the damage that afflicted enemies deal to you is increased to 15%. Okay, a little DR there. To Strike for the Heart causes Mangle to heal you for 5% was 1%. That's big. That is big. 5% of max health with the ability. That's huge for Guardian. That's crazy. Wildstalker, Symbiotic Bloom, and Bursting Growth heals increased by 30% was 50%. Okay. So they're giving a small nerf to that. Resto, Druid, your tier set has been nerfed a little bit. Evoker, Preservation, your tier set has been nerfed. But it has increased the radius, so that's good. Increase radius from 8 yards to 20 yards. Good there. Devastation, all damage by 3%. I don't know how they can't tune Devastation. It's crazy. And then they're nerfing the Liberation Mindset. Preservation, all healing reduced by 4%. I guess they were just cranking in PTR. Dream Breath healing reduced by 20%. Wow. Temporal Artifice reduced the cooldown of Rewind by 120 seconds, was 90. So you get a little buff there. And then fixed an issue. Hunters. Soul Drinker has been updated. Black Arrow damage reduced to 8%. Was 15. Phantom Pain damage share percentage reduced to 15%. Phantom damage share now affects up to 8 targets. Bleak Powder damage reduced by 25. Marksman, Black Arrow damage reduced by 8. Okay, so Hunters are getting a bit of a nerf there. Pack Leader, when dropping below 60% health, summon the aid of a turtle, reducing the damage you take by 15. Okay. Damage reduction increased as health is reduced up to 35%. DR at 10%. Can only occur every 90 seconds. That's pretty huge. Better Together has been updated. Damage dealt by your pets is increased by 5 and 15%. Frenzy attack speed bonus is now 4 / tip of the spear damage increased by 10. Rend flesh damage reduced by 30%. Okay. So there's no bleed, ignore armor, which Rend flesh was not doing before. So this nerf is intended to keep its damage roughly neutral in power. Okay. Now displays properly. Properly benefits avoidance. Bunch of issues fixed. 4 set changed. There. Sentinel. Fix an issue. Beastmaster. All damage increased by 3%. Dire Beast to trigger was reduced to 4%, was 7. So nerf on the triggering of Dire Beast, but your damage increased by 3%. Liberation, Undermine, reduced. It was another nerf to this, so they don't have to make the tier set too crazy, and then fix some issues. Marksman, aspect of the Hydra. Additional target seek range increased to 12 yards, was 8 yards. Shrapnel shot no longer triggers from 4 set, and 4 set explosive shot reduced to... Okay, so you'd stop using the 4 sets again. Survival, fixed an issue, don't care. Mage, Frost, excessive fire has been updated. Now 50% chance to grant brain freeze, was 100%, so a nerf there. Could generate brain freeze that would incentivize, yeah. And then fix an issue, don't care. Splinter Storm now has a 10% chance to grant brain freeze, was 5. Splinter Storm now has an 8% to grant clear casting, was 5. Arcane, all splinter damage increased by 8%. And then changed your tier set. So fixing issue and a buff to the tier set for Frost. Sun Fury. Looks like tier set buffs and fix an issue. Arcane. Probably nerf to their tier set. Yes, and fix an issue. Fire. All damage in dealt increased by 3%. Again, they nerfed the tier set for Undermine. Frost, Blizzard cooldown and duration increased to 15 seconds. Oh. Okay. All right, let's see what they've done to Monk here. Master of Harmony, Brewmaster, increased damage of Harmonic Surge by 25%. Okay. Press the advantage now can consume potential energy. Okay. Brewmaster, fix an issue, fix an issue, fix issue, fixed issue. Facepalm and Pretense have switched talent locations. Great. Paladin, Holy Light healing increased by 30%. Okay. Use of Light now increases the healing of Flash of Light by 150, was 30. Wow. Okay. Inflorescence and Sunwell now increases Infuse of Light effective on Flash of Light by 50%, was 15. Okay, some nice buffs for Holy. Priest. Shadow. Let's get some more rework into Shadow here. Void Volley damage reduced by 15, so they're nerfing Shadow. Idle damage reduced by 30. Fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue, fixed an issue. Great. Rogue, single button rotation, don't care. Shaman, single button rotation, don't care. Warlock, destruction. Your 2-piece now triggers from Chaos Bolt, Rain of Fire, and Shadow Burn. Great. Soul Harvest, the window for Soul Harvest tier set bonus is being reduced to the limit of time disruption while maximizing its effects. Okay, so they're increasing the damage and reducing the time. Great. Affliction. We are increasing the stack cap on Torment Crescendo to reduce the chance of losing stacks granted via the Mana Forge tier set. Tormented Crescendo can now stack up to 3 times what's tool. 2. Great. Developers note we are increasing the number of wild imps empowered by Demonic Tyrant back to 10 as our initial swing left Demonic Tyrant feeling too easy to execute. Additionally, we are increasing the value of Master Summoner and Umbral Blaze to be more appealing to invest points into. Great. Demo Lock. Master Summoner has been redesigned, increases mastery by 4, reduces the cast time of your Dreadstalker, Vile Fiend, and Tyrant by 25. All damage increased by 6%. Nice. Immutable Hatred damage increased by 150. Summon Demonic Tyrant now empowers 10 imps, was 5. That's perfect. Umbral Blaze now has a 100% chance to trigger. Nerfing your tier set from Undermine. And then Pack of Imp Mother was swap place with Umbral Blaze and then fixed an issue. Warrior. What do we have for Warrior? Demolish channel will not break once begun unless the target moves over 50 yards away from Warrior. Okay. Demolish single target attack will still only hit the target if it is in melee range, and final AoE attack will impact no more than 5 yards from the Warrior. Okay. Protection. Spellbreaker description updated for clarity. You have a 4% chance to disrupt magic damage dealt to you, reducing the damage it deals by 100%. Alrighty then. And that is the PTR changes this time. Expect more coming either probably by Tuesday. I would expect more coming when they're going to, do some over maintenance. So if you want to check it out, links in the description. This was Deflect, Firm but Fair Gaming. Thanks for watching.